Hello everybody, Chazdux here, and welcome back to Disneyland Abu Dhabi. Welcome to the second episode of the series. If you haven't seen the first episode, it's up on my channel. You can go check it out. It's the last video I made. And also, Happy New Year to everybody who uses the Roman... I forgot the name of the calendar. The calendar that we use in the US, at least. To everybody who uses that calendar, Happy New Year. To anybody else, Happy New Year when your New Year comes around. Anyway, what are we doing today? Today we are building the Emporium. Now, reminder for this park, this is not a recreation of anything. This is like a fantasized Disney park if it were to be made in Abu Dhabi, because I just feel that's like the most realistic place for the next Disneyland park to go. But I still haven't done my research since the last episode on why they haven't done that. I will probably do that. You know what? We can do that right now. Because this is a pretty big episode. I have time to Google stuff, to look stuff up, and see if we are correct or not. Let's see. Why hasn't Disney made a park in the UAE? Let's see. Okay, yeah. So they basically just had failed negotiations, strategic planning and marketing considerations. Alright. So this is Idea Wiki. Okay. Yeah, for some reason, I mean, there's more to read up on here. Obviously, I want to talk about what I'm doing today. But right here, what am I doing? I'm building the Emporium, a corner street. I'll put up the picture that I use for inspiration right now. And yeah, this is the specific corner building right here that I used for inspiration. In this very old picture, I kind of made it a little bit wider, and I made a big mistake with this building, and I think I've made this mistake with the entirety of the park so far, is that you see those little statues that I have placed everywhere. First of all, I'm gonna get rid of them because they made the cinematics in the last one look kind of ugly. So there's only like two. You can only see like two of them in the cinematics today. But I'm gonna be getting rid of them because they are a little bit taller. They are a little bit taller than the normal guests, and I didn't know that. I thought they were exact one-to-one height of the normal guests, but they're a little bit taller. You have to scale them down to like 92% for them to match up to the actual height of the guests, which is really annoying. So everything is a little big, here, which is disappointing. I mean, I guess I could try to scale everything down, but I don't want to like highlight everything and scale it and have to deal with that. So we're just gonna live with it. It looks fine, but especially like I was trying to do like forced perspective here. And it's a little bit disappointing that I'm not able to do that 100% realistically because, because I made everything so big in scale. I tried my best to do forced perspective. I think you'll see in a couple times here that I try to scale down the building. I had to cut a lot out of this video though. There are a lot of like small details and stuff that I should have skipped past because initially, even with the footage time lapse, this video was 40 minutes. So I had to cut it down to the 18-ish minutes we are at right now. I don't actually know how long this video is. I mean, you'll see obviously because you're going to be watching the video. But yeah, this building was a real challenge to make. I don't know what it was, but I spent like 4 days on this building. And this is like with me being acclimated to the controls and stuff of Planet Coaster 2. This is just like, it was a real struggle. I don't finish the interior completely in this episode. There's still more stuff to be done with the interior, like the back section. But for the most part, we get a pretty solid look at what this final building is going to look like. Now, if you don't know what the Emporium is, at Disneyland and, I mean, I guess also at Disney World, at most Disney parks, they have a major gift shop right at the entrance on Main Street on the corner. And they have gift shops like spattered everywhere, but this is like the big place where they have basically everything, and this is like a staple of most parks. Like they have it at Universal, they have it at most parks. They just have a big shop at the front, so at the end or at the start of the day you can go in and grab all the things you want. And this building was a real challenge because not only was I trying to like set up the forced perspective, not only was it weird building like my first curved building in this game, but also like the color palette and stuff I kept on messing up. And the roofs were so annoying because I was trying to mix like angled roofs, kind of like Parisian, like some French styled roofs, and then I was also trying to mix like that American like turn of the century architecture because I wanted to do something different than Disneyland. Of course I could have just copied the Disneyland Emporium. What am I saying? I could have just copied the Disneyland Emporium, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to kind of make something a little bit special, so that's where I landed on that domed roof right there. And then it was kind of just like all about striking that balance between, I don't know, just like, I don't know how to put this. It was just a struggle because I really had to take a lot of things into account. Not only was I trying to be unique and special, but I was also trying to, you know, build a nice building at the same time. So it's just a lot of experimenting. I added a lot of different like outcroppings and stuff. And that's why this video was a little bit annoying to edit, because I had to go through and I would just constantly be testing out like a bunch of different things to see if they worked. Like it took me a solid like 5 attempts before I landed on this fence right here, or this railing, I guess, for this building. I used the letters in this game are actually a godsend, because look at that, like the letter I, that makes perfect metal bars, and that was really my saving grace. But yeah, no, I went through like a whole different like slew of colors that I was going to use for this building. I started with green, I changed a bunch of colors around, then I eventually decided, you know what, we're just going to make this building green. So that's what we landed on. And yeah, no, just like a bunch of things. Normally I don't struggle this much with buildings, but this was like 4 days on just this one building, so I figured it kind of deserves its own video. But let's move on to something else. I mean, of course, what am I doing right now? This is like 2 days worth of me just like working on this corner right here. It was very annoying. I didn't even get around to like the side walls until like my 3rd day in, and luckily with the sides, like the walls of this building, I was just able to copy and paste it to the other side. But yeah, still annoying. And something that is a little bit harder in Planet Coaster 2 compared to Planet Coaster 1 especially, is kind of getting, I don't know, like an American look, like a turn of the century kind of American look, and a fantasy look as well. Both of those are very hard and very annoying because like the pieces are just not there. Like I had to compromise a lot and make a lot of custom pieces, which is just kind of annoying, especially since those pieces were already in Planet Coaster 1. And I know that's just like a tired kind of argument, and I don't want to. I still like Planet Coaster 2, and I like how the variety of pieces that we have. But I don't know, just like the pieces, especially like the Roman kind of pieces, I guess, like the Roman revival pieces and the fantasy pieces that we had in the first game. You know, those were also very versatile. Like I was able to use all of those to make a kind of turn of the century architecture, and then the Greek pieces that we have in this game I can't really do as much with, especially when it comes to stuff like this, because I mean I guess for those are very intricately themed, so I don't know if those are like the best example, but you know, I just struggled to make this building a lot more in this game than I would have, I figured, in Planet Coaster 1. I do really like one piece that I really like in this game is that globe piece that I used at the start. I think that was like one of the first things in this video. I used that globe piece to make that little dome up top. I just really like how that looks, and I think I'm probably going to be using that again for our Main Street Station, which I will be doing our next video on. Our next video is going to be Main Street Station. And actually, speaking of videos that are to come, I think I'm going to do the Main Street Station, and I think I'm just going to do one big video where I try to knock out as many Main Street buildings as I possibly can. Because, you know, the Main Street buildings, they are very repetitive. Yeah, you can see right here I'm experimenting with blue, and because of the way I built this, changing the colors got really annoying. And you see I just cut out a bunch right there. I was like halfway through changing colors, right there, and I ended up just sticking with the green. And also, speaking of the green, the roof right there, I went through like a whole thing with like, I was continuing the style that I had right there, and I ended up just switching to art shapes. Art shapes are very, very, very versatile, underrated in my opinion. But yeah, no, art shapes are perfect for stuff like this because you can just use them and create any shape you want, and then from there you can just like decorate it with texture and stuff, and that seems to, for the most part, get the job done for me when it comes to decorating these buildings and stuff. This right here, this planter, I'm very happy with. I think the windows and the planters that I have really saved the forced perspective on this. But still, this building is a little bit bigger than I wish. Like, it's pretty tall. But I also don't think, I was planning on making like the big roof segment kind of like the third layer of the building. Like, there's 3 floors to the building, and then but then it only looks like there's 2 like visible floors, and then the top roof segment is like the 3rd floor for these side like outcroppings. So I was trying to do something like that, but I don't really think it sold very well, so now it just kind of looks like there's 2 really big floors. But I think I'm just gonna let it be because I've spent enough time on this building already. Yeah, and it's just kind of annoying, this building. Like, as I said, I would normally not spend this much time on such a simple building, but once I got into it, I think I figured it out. Yeah, also, like, again, like the lack of like ornamentation and the lack of kind of like, you see what I did there with the I did like panels to hold up the glass. What am I saying? I used like those plaster panels or whatever, instead of like in Planet Coaster 1 you would have like a lot of hinges and a lot of supports that we could use from all the themes, and those just kind of seem to be sorely missing in this game. I hope that's one of like the first themed, not themed, but like if they ever do like a DLC where it's just like builders DLC, those would be really good pieces to see, just because those are so important, just to like building in general. Those could have been wood, but I just really had to compromise a lot because there aren't many just like straight up supports that I can use to like reinforce a doorway, for example. You'll see later on, I don't know if I show it, but it'll probably be in the cinematics, that I have to use like a lamp because there's no like curved things which will hold up a like a doorway. If I can show you guys a picture of what I mean right now, just to like see if that makes any more sense, I guess, of what I kind of mean. Just stuff like this, if I'm showing it right now. Stuff like this. Stuff that looks like this. Stuff that's made to support. Stuff that's made to, I don't know, just add texture. That's kind of missing in this, and I don't want to like make too much use of my scaling mod, just because I want to make like some of this salvageable if my scaling mod doesn't work, as we have discussed, and as I still have not tested. I still need to test that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I've been ranting. Let's just talk about what I'm doing right now. So you can see I use these anchor points right here to do some ornamentation on the roof, which I really, really like. I'm getting a lot of use out of those Roman statues as well, because I can scale those down really small and use them. Those actually fit really well for Main Street. I think you'll see a little bit later, but something I did in the first episode were those horse hitches, and I scaled down one of those statues to be on top of the horse hitches, which I really, really like. And also, since the statues are two-tone, I can put them up there and kind of make them look like copper, like oxidizing copper, which is really, really, really cool. Oh yeah, and then right here, I totally forgot about this. This is the tram, or the trolley, I guess. And something I really wanted to do with this Main Street to kind of separate it from the other main streets is to kind of give the transit a home that you can kind of see. Because obviously you see all the Main Street vehicles going up and down, but you don't really like know where they're coming from. They just kind of come out of the backstage. I mean, the fire truck, you know where the fire truck comes from, but the trolleys and stuff, they just kind of come from the back. And I don't want to do horse-drawn trolleys for this park. I'm going to do mechanical trolleys. like from it. That was also at the turn of the century. But I'm gonna be doing those, and then I'm gonna have like a trolley depot. I don't think it's gonna be functioning, but it will be a place where you can kind of walk in and quote unquote get a ticket for the trolley. Just another loading spot for the trolley outside of the bulk of the land. And that'll be kind of like a transition between our world square and our main street proper. Now onto the interior right here. Now the interior, I took less artistic liberties, I guess you could say. For this interior, I was definitely looking at pictures of the Disneyland Emporium interior, just because that interior is so well done, and I really like it. But I did take artistic liberties, of course. That's what you do. I'm not stealing straight up, but I did take a lot of inspiration from that. Especially, I really like the wood pieces that I found for this interior, because I was able to make them look like decorative wood and not like barbarian wood, kind of like the themes would have you, like the Viking theme. It kind of leads you into making more like barbaric, like gross, like not gross, but gross in an endearing way. Gross in like this wood is like mangled and it's like natural. That's probably a better way to put it. They want you to make the wood kind of natural, so you have to really pick and choose the pieces that you want to use if you want to make it look like pristine and polished, like these turn of the century wooden decorations are like. You can see right there with like the rope on the wood that I have to hide. That's like kind of an example of that. Like they want you to use it in like a natural setting, so it's kind of, you have to really work with the wood to make it look pristine. You can see I used like those sign pieces right there. You know, in this game, side tangent, sign pieces are very, very useful, very helpful. I get so much use out of sign pieces just because, yeah, you'll see right here I use them for this back. Oh, I'm actually very, very proud of this right here. This is for the cashier. I use this little thing back there to kind of, it's not a shelf, but it's more just like a decoration behind the cashiers, and I really like it. It's kind of steampunky, kind of turn of the century. I don't know, it's just an intricate design, and I use like some gears and some cogs to make it look pretty cool. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. Anyway, video's coming to an end soon here in a minute. So yeah, just let me know if you guys want to see anything in the coming videos, any ideas for the park. I'm not starving for ideas, but if you have any, I would love to hear them. Just like a collaborative effort. And yeah, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Train station next episode, and let's check out these cinematics.